You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at Lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
Common sense, comedy, and freedom. You found the defenders of American exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. What's the sigh for, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day indeed. Indeed. It is Saturday, folks. Welcome to the show. So glad y'all could be here.
Mm-hmm. So am I. It's been a wonderful show. Obviously, you can find us on Defenders of American Exceptionalism. That's DOAE Show on Facebook. DOAE
where we are live.
That's right.
We are live right now on Facebook and also on Lanterns.buzz on Facebook as well. Do us a favor. Please like, follow, and share. Spread this around. The more people that get a chance to see this, hopefully we can buck the Facebook algorithm and, you know, maybe get some more exposure. So
yes,
share it with your friends. It would be magical. We're also on Twitter at DOAE Show. And those of you that are live on Facebook, notice that I'm not moving.
No, you're not. Actually, you're also artistically drawn.
I am. Oh, I am artistically drawn. Yes. It's a magical thing, really. It's beautiful.
It really is. It's a beautiful picture, but the subject needs work.
It does. There's kind of a reason for that. There's a reason why you can hear me and yet you can't see me moving.
Right.
We're going to address this really quick before we actually dive into the show. So I've had several people ask me, hey, what's going on? They've kind of noticed that, all of last year I was, Johnny on the spot. We didn't really miss a show at all for typical holidays or vacations. And then coming into this year, things seem to be a little bit crazy, seem to be a little less consistent. 1 minute it's here, next minute it's not. What's going on? And so I figure what I should do is set everyone's mind, set it at ease, without giving too much away. Right now, we have a lot. The show is getting ready to grow exponentially. There are a lot of things that are being done behind the scenes that we can't exactly let the cat out of the bag right now. Can't let that out right this second. But a lot of big things are coming down the pike. And one of the things is, unfortunately, it's got me away to make sure, set up these things and tie up loose ends, et cetera, et cetera. And it's easier for me to Skype in and have Steven, producer extraordinaire, kind of run everything and handle everything from his end than it is for, us to pre-record, which I hate doing.
Yep.
And, it beats trying to fill in for another host. So, but hopefully, if everything goes like it should after today has been done, going back into next week, he and I will at least be in the same room. There will still be some changes coming down the road, and we'll let y'all in on everything as it goes along. Just know really big things are coming, really cool things are coming, big expansions, lots of growth. Yay for us. And yay to you guys for helping us get there.
Yes.
So everything's good. No need to fret. It's all good in the proverbial hood. So
far.
Having said all of that, we're going to dive in to tonight's show. A lot on the docket tonight. Starting off with apparently Governor Rick Scott from Florida has signed a new law.
Yes.
Us.
Yes.
What he has done is he signed a law in response to the Parkland school shooting that was done back in on Valentine's Day.
Which is odd because, all of us understand that you don't sign laws based on mass shootings.
Emotion.
And emotion.
Yeah.
Because normally it just doesn't end well for anybody.
No, it doesn't. Because you're, again, when you base it off of emotion, then there's no real thought process put into it. It's all done on feeling. And unfortunately, as anybody who knows anything about feelings are fluid. Emotions are fluid.
They change just like the gender of any leftist.
I wasn't going there, but yes, that's true. But yes,
we have a topic on that later tonight.
Exactly, that's going to be a whole other one later. You're gonna love it. But yeah. So reading from the Blaze, the Florida Republican governor Rick Scott put his A+ rating with the NRA at risk by signing into law the gun regulations that gave both sides some of what they want while also leaving everyone wanting more.
Now, let me ask you a question because that doesn't really seem all that real.
I know.
You can't really give both sides of this argument what they want. And what I mean by that is there's no such thing as both sides getting what they want. When one person wants gun control and the other person wants people to be free, there is no both sides.
No, I don't know how they are splicing this, but so the law, which is called the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act. Whew, that's a mouthful. Well, what it does first is it raises the minimum age for firearm purchases from 21 from the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
Problem with that,
okay.
Yeah. So you can legally vote.
Yes.
You can legally defend your country. You can at least buy cigarettes currently. You're considered an adult in most cases, except for when it comes to insurance. But you can't own or buy a firearm on your own.
Right. And so here's a big issue. So anytime anybody talks about raising an age or lowering an age to anything that we have going on, if you piecemeal it, it doesn't make sense. Nope. What I mean by that, so we can vote at age 18, but we can't carry a gun. So we are responsible enough at age 18 to vote our representatives in, but we can't protect ourselves.
Yeah, weird how that works.
That's stupid. It's like
it is stupid.
You can carry a gun at the age of 18 in the military, but you can't drink until the age of 21. That's also stupid.
Oh yeah. Oh, believe me.
I know you know.
I know, and I know
the
a lot of
Navy.
people
I know
know,
you know that. But that's not the point here. It's like whenever anybody makes any of these statements where they're like, "Well, we're gonna raise on this specific thing and not do it on everything else," it's an all or nothing thing, or else it doesn't make sense.
Yep. It also imposes a 3-day waiting period for most gun purchases.
Isn't that normal anyway?
Not really. I think because it says most guns. I don't know what most guns mean.
Most guns.
For handguns, there is a 3-day waiting period usually. You can't go to Walmart anymore without a 3-day waiting period. You can't. No, you can. If you're buying a rifle, you could buy a rifle from Walmart. Well, they're starting to slowly get rid of those, but you can go to Walmart.
Yeah, exactly.
And buy a shotgun or a rifle, and as long as you
here in North Carolina anyway.
Exactly. In North Carolina, you can clear it and then you walk out the door with it as long as you got the money, because there's no law saying you have to have the background check, which is a little weird. But anyway,
right.
It bans the sale or possession of bump stocks.
That had nothing to do with this.
I'm tired. I'm going to tell you, I am so tired of the whole bump stock thing. For real.
It's so stupid. It's so freaking stupid.
It's almost as bad. They're looking for a villain, and it's the only thing that anybody goes on. Just like everybody goes after the AR-15.
Yeah, but it's not anything.
I was gonna say, statistically, more murders and assaults are committed with handguns than they are with anything else, and yet they're still the villain is the AR-15. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
The AR-15 is like what they would say the AK is.
Yep. It funds a program. Get this. Okay, so this one, you're going to have to follow along and tell me if you find out something is odd. Funds a program that allows some teachers and school staff to carry guns after 132 hours of firearm training and 12 hours of diversity training.
I need to stop you there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so we talked about this a little bit earlier. 132 hours of firearms training. I get that. Okay, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
Gotta be proficient. You want to make sure you work.
12 hours of diversity training? Why? Why?
I don't know. I don't understand
For what reason? One of these things is not like the other.
It isn't. I don't know what diversity training has to do with the ability of whether or not you can safely discharge a firearm.
Yes.
I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, moving on, because we got a lot to cover. It makes it easier for law enforcement to temporarily seize guns and ammo for people with mental health issues. That can't go bad at all.
So that whole, like, well, we'll just seize the guns now and, talk about law later.
Yeah. Now, that provides additional funding for mental health services.
Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah,
that's all right. I can sure. I guess there's the one thing that everyone agrees on, and that's the one side for the right. I guess.
That's the one check.
Funds the destruction and rebuilding of Douglas High School's freshman building.
Wait, what?
Funds the destruction and rebuilding of Douglas High School's freshman building, which I'm assuming is where most of the shots and stuff were.
Why?
Done. I guess because people can't function in walking in there. I don't know. I don't know.
Can't.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't function in a school where you, as the students, knew that guy was going to shoot up your school.
Well, I'm going to take it a slight step further. A school that theoretically most of these kids are not going to be in for more than 4 years. Right. People coming in behind it are not going to have that attachment. I understand they're going to go, wow, somebody got shot here. How many places have you been in that somebody's been hurt, shot, maimed, killed, beaten?
Right.
I mean, there's places you can walk anywhere. Assaults and robberies can happen anywhere.
Yeah. In the high school that I used to go to, beatings happened all the time. I mean, there was a fight that happened like right outside of the bus stop.
Wow.
One day, and it was incredible because it was these two girls, and they both had those like 3-inch nails.
Oh my god!
and you know how like girls at that age, some of them where they don't actually know how to fight, all they do is like grab hair and swing their hand out.
Yeah.
Well, these girls had the claws, and so they didn't actually swing their hand out. They actually swung their claws in. And so it was grabbing the hair and then swinging. Both of them came out with their faces maimed.
Oh, that's good.
And I was like, this is going on at school? All right. Yeah.
This is going to end well.
This is high school. What is this guy?
It's wonderful, really.
Neither of these girls are going to be able to come back to school ever.
I know. Here's the part that gets me the most. So, Governor Scott said he opposed parts of the law, including the new waiting period and program to arm teachers.
Oh, he opposed them.
Hold on. It gets great. Still, he touted it as a good solution and conversation starter.
Now, so he signed a conversation starter into law.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. You really needed to sign a law to start a conversation.
No.
Okay.
You present a bill to start a conversation, sure.
Exactly. Quote, I'm going to do what I think are common sense solutions. Shut up.
Common sense solutions. There's no such thing as common sense solutions to guns and gun rights.
I think this is the beginning. There is now going to be a real conversation about how we make our schools safe, end quote. Now, some of y'all may go, but wait, he's a Republican. But wait, he is normally a good governor. What the heck is going on? I want to express this. There's a little tidbit in the middle of this article. It says, Scott, who is eyeing a Senate bid against Senator Bill Nelson, Democrat from Florida, has criticized the federal government for failing to make any meaningful steps following the tragedy in Parkland. Ladies and gentlemen, what Governor Scott is trying to do right now is pander so he can possibly be able to steal a Senate seat coming up in possibly in 2018.
Yeah, so basically he's just pandering. That's all he's doing. He's pandering and setting up his platform.
Exactly. He is making an agenda so he can turn around and further his political career.
Right, and so in response, the NRA has decided to sue them.
Yes, and rightfully so. Look, the NRA is pissed.
I mean, come on. Look,
You can't blame them. You can't blame them.
Yeah, you can't blame them. And so it's right here. This is also a breaking story. NRA sues against new gun law responses to Florida mass murders, and here is why. That's the title of the article from the Blaze as well. You have this bill. This is a quote from the NRA spokesman. This bill punishes law-abiding gun owners for the criminal acts of a deranged individual.
Yep.
Securing our schools and protecting our constitutional rights of Americans are not mutually exclusive, he added. Instead, look to the root of the cause of this premeditated violence. The gun control provisions in this law wrongly blame millions of Floridians who safely and responsibly exercise their rights to self-defense.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how that works out. Is everyone is convinced that you can legislate morality, and I hate to again.
You can't do it.
I feel like we say this every show or every time we talk about guns. You cannot
do it.
Legislate morality.
There's no such thing.
There is no such thing. Look, shortly after Parkland, you had another school, and we talked about it last week, where there was a stabbing, and then another one in a different place that had a bombing or an attempted bombing.
Pennsylvania was a stabbing, and Utah was a bombing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but an evil heart is going to do what an evil heart will do, and it doesn't matter whether you attempt to take stuff away from people or not. The only thing you're doing now is taking away from people to protect themselves or possibly stop said crazy person.
Exactly.
You're not doing anyone any favors.
No, you're really not.
I don't know. It's ugh. Oh, thank God. Well, we'll find out what the NRA does, and we'll keep y'all posted on that as things come down the line. But I figure we should bring that one up. Then on that note, we are going to take a small little break, catch ourselves and calm down. And come back on the other side and talk more about a couple of other state issues that are going on. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. We'll be right back. And welcome back, folks. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network.
Yay!
Buddy. Aren't I pretty? I'm posing.
It's such a pose. You're doing the thinker pose.
I was fiddle farting with the filters on the Facebook thing at one point. I was.
That's a Facebook picture. Wow.
Was yeah. No, I took that one a while back too. That was a while ago.
It's a long time ago.
Long time ago, in a galaxy far away.
Speaking of which, doesn't it seem like that's when our Constitution was written? Just a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Yes, indeed. Because no one seems to give a flying rat's tuchus about it. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
That's for sure. Folks, we are live on Facebook at DOAE Show, Twitter at DOAE Show.
Yep.
Defenders of America. Oh, no, we're on Lanterns.buzz. I almost messed that up, too.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's, God,
And you can also become a patron of ours at patreon.com/DOAE Show.
Yeah, buddy.
Because you always miss that one.
I do miss that one, too. It's like, it's only what helps keep the lights on and everything flowing. But no, let's just forget to worry about getting paid. That's fine.
It's only that one thing. That one little tiny thing.
Oh my good. Oh my goodness. Anyway, all right. So we're going to continue.
Yes.
With our little theme of states' rights and how funny it is that you have states' rights up until there's an agenda.
Yes.
And then suddenly, when there's an agenda, the states' rights no longer apply.
They don't really make sense, actually.
No, it doesn't. But unfortunately, it becomes the truth.
Yes.
Everyone will tout that, and you will listen. I mean, people will bring it up constantly about one thing or another. Oh, well, the states have right to do whatever they want to, blah, 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 blah. But then suddenly, there'll be a federal judge that'll step in and say, hey, you can't do that.
That's stupid, you idiot.
Yeah, what are you thinking? And
then sometimes they do the exact opposite. Hey, you can't do that.
Exactly.
I'm stupid, you idiot.
Exactly. So speaking of judges who order things like that, a federal judge, this from the Blaze as well. And by the way, all the links and everything for everything that we quote from here on out should all be listed inside the description on the Facebook Lives. So make sure you check those out if you want to read further into those articles.
Not on this one, but on the one from here on out.
Yeah, well, it should be on this one as well. At least on one of them I did. Anyway.
Oh
yeah. But the headline reads: Judge orders Idaho. That out.
All right, cut.
I had
we can work that.
We can edit that out. Okay.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. There you go.
All right. Judge orders Idaho officials to accept transgender requests to change sex on birth certificates. Because that's how it works.
Yeah.
A federal court ruled earlier this week that state officials in Idaho, quote, must begin accepting applications made by transgender people to change the sex listed on their birth certificate on or before April 6th, end quote, NBC News reported, because that is what you do.
Isn't that changing the past?
Yeah, well...
No, literally, isn't that changing
it is.
The truth of the past?
Well, it is. Well, but
here's doctoring the past.
I see what you did there, doctoring and sex and we need a bell. God bless America, we need a bell. But no, I don't understand how this is so confusing. It makes my head hurt right now. Because all right, so you can go in Idaho now. If I decide I want to go in and have them change my sex, let's just say, let's pretend. Let's go to Fantasyland. And Dylan is in Idaho and has a bench warrant. Which, there's a bench warrant. They describe that as, as a male, 6 foot, 1 inches tall, 360 pounds, whatever. And it goes through the list. Well, if I go in and they don't catch that and I say, hey, I'm no longer a man, I'm a woman, and they change it on the birth certificate, theoretically, there goes the bench warrant.
Right. Technically,
or at least it doesn't apply to me because I'm now a man. I went from a man to a woman.
Right.
So what's the point of law then at that point? If we want to get technical, and everybody's going to say, no, Dylan, it's not going to get that far. It's not how it's going to go. Okay. I got to just like accepting a transgenderism as a thing is not going to eventually lead to other crazy stuff, i.e. bestiality or anything like that, which I dodged a story on that earlier about
bestiality.
About how the Huffington Post actually tried to condone or not condone, but naturalize a guy who apparently got it on with a dolphin.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Didn't they make a movie out of that?
I saved for that. Yeah, it's called Flipper.
I was thinking The Shape of Water, but
oh yeah, no, that one got me thinking about it too. I had a movie, so I didn't want to.
That one won an Emmy, so whatever.
I don't know, and won some stupid award from somebody that doesn't apply to. But anyway,
doesn't apply to real life.
Yeah, really. U.S. Magistrate Candy Dale, which that's a delightful name.
I'm sorry, what?
U.S. Magistrate Candy Dale. Tell me that doesn't sound like a stripper.
Try that again. One more time.
Candy Dale.
Candy Dale.
Candydale. Candy Dale. U.S.
Why? They call me Candy.
For $20, I'll tell you why.
Oh, God.
Candy Dale said that the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare was in violation of the U.S. Constitution by banning transgenders from changing their birth sex on documents, according to the Associated Press.
So I just want to point out something here. If you go to the very bottom of the article, we have a problem with our state as well, because Ohio, Tennessee, and Kansas are the only states that do not allow this.
I know. Which, had I known that, I don't know. I might have paid better attention.
That means Texas too.
Yeah, that means Texas. The beloved Texas is.
You know what? Actually, this is kind of okay. So, if we look at it, we can look at it two different ways. One, you're changing the past, and thus you can't change the past, and so you shouldn't be allowed to change the past, even if it is your own past, because that is representation of the truth. Okay, you have that. Or you have, well, it's your right because it's your past.
Yeah, but your past has to do with everyone else.
Right, what happened to the whole... how you relate to everything.
Well, everything that you do, everything, and that used to be a thing. We used to talk about that, about, hey, your life, everything that you do, even if it's not, a huge issue or it seems like a small thing, everything that you do, every motion that you make touches somebody else. The whole butterfly effect, or the, ripple in the pond, or whatever. That used to be a thing.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but if you go and change who you are sexually, air quotes, which you can't do, just because you change the bottle doesn't make it, no longer a bottle.
You invert just because you invert the bottle.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it doesn't still hold water. You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah, I went there. I don't know. I quote, a ruling providing an avenue to obtain a birth certificate with a listed sex that aligns with an individual's gender identity promotes the health, well-being, and safety of transgender people without impacting the rights of others, in quote, Dale said.
Yes. Okay, so I understand where you're at there.
Nope.
I got you. I got you. But here's a couple things. Okay.
Just a couple.
Just a couple things. All right. So, one, you have the 10th Amendment.
You do. You do have
the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states, respectively, or to the people.
Yes, which is basically states' rights.
Technically, they never thought of, and they never wrote down, that people can't change their gender on their birth certificate.
Because they never assumed that people were going to do that, that they thought that people were that stupid.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now,
go ahead. You know what that's based off of, right?
Oh, please. Regale me.
Oh, good. It's based off of Jeremiah 17:19.
Mm-hmm. And that would be... I don't talk down to me. I know Jeremiah.
I know Jeremiah.
Exactly. I was... Jeremiah something or another on another number. Yep.
Yeah,
but you know what? For those listening, tell them. Don't. There are some people that were reading that earlier. Now, I was. But
you were, obviously.
Talk to them. Don't talk to me. I'm part of this show too. Remember that. We are presenting it to them.
I mean, I put it in the I put it in the notes, so I know you saw it. I know it was there. It was there for you specifically.
Exactly. I know.
And look, you're just like, whatever. I'm just not going to worry about this.
Talk down to me again.
I'm not. You're not going to worry about this. And
Jeremiah 17:19.
Yeah, Jeremiah 17:19. So you scroll down to Jeremiah 17:19, and I'm just going to read it to you because it's easier that way. So it says, this is the New King James, by the way. Thus the Lord said to me, go and stand in the gates of the children of the people by which the king of Judah come in and by which they go out, and all the gates of Jerusalem and say to them, hear the words of the Lord, your King of Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem that enter the gates. Take heed of yourself and bear no burdens on the Sabbath day. Basically, it goes into why people are sin, why people are deceivers, why people are deceitful, why people have sin in their hearts.
Yep.
And so it goes through that entire
fallen world in a nutshell.
Right. It goes through a fallen world. And so our founders based everything off of that when it comes to the 10th Amendment. The reason why is, how did they get division of powers out of that? Well, they said people are wicked and deceitful.
Yep. They're greedy and they're selfish, power hungry, blah, 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 blah. We have to get around that somehow. And you can't legislate morality.
Right. And also government bodies are controlled by people. And so you have to divide up the powers, or else the people in those government bodies will corrupt it.
Yes, that's where you get dictators and monarchies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to kind of go back to the quote. You know, a rule providing an avenue to obtain a birth certificate with a listed sex that aligns with the individual's gender identity promotes the health, well-being, and safety of transgender people without impacting the rights of others. This is trying to legislate morality.
Yes. Okay,
because in the grand scheme of it all, let's be completely honest. I will sit here and people can argue and they can say, well, you know what, you're a transgender. You're not, that's a, gender dysphoria. That's a mental issue. There's ways and angles you can handle this. The problem with it is there are people out there who are douches.
Yes.
To put it as nicely as humanly possible,
yes.
who will turn around and use derogatory terms or be ugly about it or try to tear somebody down instead of trying to, at the very least, I'm not saying accept it, but at least be a little bit empathetic to the situation. And what you're doing in this instance is you're trying to, just like with the guns before, instead of focusing on the individual, instead of people looking at themselves and trying to fix themselves. No. It is far easier to turn around and make other people do it to accommodate me, and then they think it's just going to magically go away, and it's not. What's going to happen whether it's this thing with guns, whether it has to do with the transgender stuff, being able to change your birth certificates, no matter what it is, you start forcing people to do stuff, and eventually there's going to be a backlash. And I'm talking a backlash that is not something that anybody wants. We're on the verge of like actual revolution kind of stuff.
You're not talking about self-flogging.
Yeah.
That's also backlash.
I see what you did there. God, bell. You need a bell.
I need that bell.
We do. This is such a good time for that. But you get my point. Is we have to, if you don't look, if we want a society that doesn't treat people, whether you're transgendered or not, whether you have guns or not, it doesn't matter. You want to try and change a society, it starts with you. Remember the old Michael Jackson, the man in the mirror. You know what I mean?
Wait. Wait. But what about watching The Bachelor?
Oh, God. Yes, because, everyone gets their information from The Bachelor.
I know for a fact that you love watching The Bachelor.
I've never missed or watched an episode in my life.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know you know. You have to know. And so this has to be really close to your heart.
It is.
Because speaking of regulating and legislating morality, Minnesota Republican representative drafts a legislation to ban The Bachelor from the state.
Oh, the travesty. How dare him, her, individual. I should not be
Representative
putting on
Drew Christensen.
Yeah, but I should not assume. I should never assume
personhood.
Gender, so
personhood.
There.
Personhood.
Yeah. But anyway.
And his not only is this the case, but he's trying to push it via Twitter, such as, if this gets 1,000 retweets, I'll author a bill banning Ari from Minnesota. Meaning person from The Bachelor. Drafting the bill now. Should I invite Becca to be my guest at Minnesota State in the state address the next week? Yeah.
I'm going to assume that Becca is one of the
also a person from The Bachelor. I don't know these people. I don't.
Yeah. So long of the short is, and this goes back to what I originally said before, is states have rights until there's an agenda.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
And the agenda for the ones in Idaho is, well, we need to placate and pander to the LGBT, LMNOPQRXTUVWXYZ group.
Plus minus.
Plus or minus 12. Because, they're considered a minority. And by being a minority, if we give them what they want, then they will give us what we want, which means power and money to continue to stay in office.
Exactly.
Now, I will argue that there will probably be some people who complain and go, really, The Bachelor, really? That's stupid. You have no right to say that. But because of the fact that it has nothing, there's no agenda behind it. There's no, it's a pointless topic. Mm-hmm. You're not going to hear any of these minority groups coming back and saying, well, you can't do that. I want to be able to shut up. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And again, states' rights only apply when there's no agenda. And this is proof of that.
Exactly.
Like I said, other than a few angry housewives, you're not going to get anything. So we figured that would be a cute little giggle to go with it. And so with that, we're going to go and take our final break of the evening. And on the other side, we have a great story from Scotland.
Scotland.
Don't go anywhere.
Scotland.
I was going to try and do it. Listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at Lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
And welcome back, folks. You're listening to Defenders of American Exceptionalism on the Lanterns Radio Network. We are live on Facebook at DOA Show, on Twitter at DOA Show.
Yes. Also please on, Lanterns.buzz.
Lanterns.buzz. Facebook as well. Also on the YouTube. Please like, share, spread this stuff around. Anybody who happens to, agree, you think you might like it, send it to them. And anybody you think would really irritate, send it to them too.
Yeah, we love hate mail.
We love hate mail.
It's good times.
Look, any publicity is better than no publicity at all.
And also, we will read the hate mail and answer it on the show. So we haven't gotten any yet, which is great. But at the same point in time, it's really not great. We want hate mail. So send it to people that hate us and hate the way that we talk. And tell them that they can contact us at doaeshow@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Because, if you haven't pissed somebody off today, you're not doing it right.
Well,
that's the goal.
It really depends.
Apparently. It depends. Like the diaper.
Got it.
There you go. So,
crickets.
To finish out the night, we figure, as usual, we're going to go into a story that literally makes absolutely no sense and that we can just giggle at.
Like all the stories that we've had today?
I know. Well, but those are more, fairly serious, and they're at least in America and to touch us. This is coming from Scotland.
I get you there. They touch us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See that? That's God. We need up help.
I need a bell so bad right now.
Okay. So the headline reads: Church of Scotland creates pamphlet to help churches teach transgenderism.
Wait, what? Sorry, read that again. I didn't catch that. I was focusing on the.
Yeah, it creates a pamphlet to help churches teach transgenderism.
To help churches teach transgenderism.
Yep. Allow me to explain. The church created a new pamphlet that contains stories of 11 transgender people who described being abused and cast out by fellow Christians. The 30-page manifesto titled Diverse Gender Identities and Pastoral Care Which I'm going to pause there for a moment. Tell me that doesn't sound like, I don't know, like it belongs in the self-help book section right next to how to grout your tub.
How to grout your tub right next to diverse gender identities and pastoral care.
And then also on the other side of that is everyone poops, you know. Oh. It features such phrases as some men have vaginas and some women have penises.
No, they don't.
Oh, they don't.
No.
Apparently somebody didn't take a biology class. That's all.
They don't. They really don't.
No, they don't. In addition to featuring the stories of transgender parishioners. God, it helps if I can.
Can you read?
Let me try that again.
Yeah,
edit that out.
Go ahead.
All
right.
On live, right?
Okay. 3, 2. Okay.
In addition to featuring the stories of transgender parishioners, the booklet also asks clergymen to use, quote, gender neutral, end quote, language when pointing to God when addressing their congregation so that it makes, so as to make the church more inclusive.
Sorry, what?
So apparently you have to use gender neutral language.
About God.
Referring to God, which, you know, theoretically one would argue that you know, God is not necessarily a man because he's God.
Because he's God, so he's not a man.
God.
He's not a human. He's not a human, so we don't actually know. We give a fatherly overtone to him.
Mm-hmm. But you know, one of the publication's aims is to update Christianity and its culture to reflect change sociological climates. In the booklet, one churchgoer, identified only by Andrew, says, quote, I struggle with the wording of the Lord's Prayer because I see God as my parent, not as my father, end quote.
Okay, stop.
Stop. I feel like, is there something sounds like something is amiss there? You have a...
So you have a problem with the Lord's Prayer because it says, Our Father who are in heaven. Because
he says, quote, I see God as my parent, not as my father.
Well, it's not like he's Darth Vader coming in front of you like, Luke, I am your father. It's not that. It isn't true. Yeah, that's exactly what I hear. This is what it feels like to me that you're doing. You're doing.
I know.
No, it's not true.
Well, here's the problem with this: is God as my parent, not as my father.
Okay.
Correct me. I'm sorry. I'm you know, I was homeschooled, so forgive me. But last time I checked, forgive my homeschooledness. But a father is a parent.
Yes.
Okay. Now I just want to make sure we were going. Okay.
We're
quote,
still good
God
on that.
is. I know. Yes, we're good. Quote: God is genderless to me. It's not Father God. It is Parent God. End quote. Andrew says.
So if he is if God is genderless to you, giving the title Father really shouldn't mean anything to you, because Father is a representation of a trait, not of his essence. So it shouldn't bother you because it shouldn't be a problem.
Exactly, because theoretically, let's if we're going to boil it down like that, theoretically, whether you called him Father God or Mother God, it's still a parental role.
Yes.
So it really doesn't matter if you want to classify it from a male's point or from a female's point. Now, obviously, history has had him classified from a male standpoint, and that's fine. But it's still a parental role. You're literally trying to argue something that isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I need to point out something. So, next part here. Another parishioner, Caden, who, let's go down just one line before we get to there. Caden was born a female, but now identifies as demi-boy.
Which is?
Apparently is someone whose gender identity is only partially male.
Now, hold on. How can you only be partially male?
I don't
I don't know. Like, is it like a
transitioning?
Well, but no, but like, is it a percentage kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like, is it? Well, theoretically, I'm only 35% male, so it keeps me as a demi thing. Now, if I hit the actual 45 or higher, then it actually makes me half, and then it becomes a transgender issue.
Right. So I think they're like a 22%er.
Like somebody didn't get a patch from school. Okay, but anyway,
22%. So Caden says, I believe that God created us all so that means he created me to be this way.
only partially male. And again, which part?
God created you female.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's how it starts. Is
God created you female. You, under the auspices and the ideas of your teachers and the people that have been in your life, have created an identity for yourself of demi boy. Yeah,
which I personally think is rather cumbersome to say, but whatever. It's Julie. Let's keep going because this is fun. There's more people apparently that have issues. And Julie, another churchgoer, details her own journey with a trans husband.
Wait.
Hold on. After spending a decade with her husband and raising a family, Julie discovered that her husband was trans.
Okay.
She accepted her husband's transgenderism and remained with him, which shouldn't that actually classify then as a her?
Yes.
Or did it start the other way around? I'm not sure.
No. It started with a her and became a him.
Oh, so okay, gotcha. I think.
And you know what? As long as so, gender is internal. Julie explains. It's only genitalia that are external. Genitalia are not gender. That's actually exactly what.
That's what gender
is. It's a genitalia.
Any biology class in any school in any continent will tell you that genitalia is gender.
Go and ask somebody like a zoologist how to gender an animal. It's also called sexing an animal.
It is.
But how to identify the gender of the animal.
That's sexing, not sexting. There's no T in that.
There's no T in there.
I want to clarify that.
Because we're not British. No T. Coffee only.
Yes. Christian Today, reported that the Reverend Norman Smith, convener of the Mission and Discipleship Council of the Church of Scotland, said, we want to help congregations support all of their communities in the best way we can, and this resource helps those who care for those that do, or that helps those. Let me start again. I lost my thing. We want to help the congregation support all of their communities in the best way that we can. This resource helps those who care for others do that to the best of their ability. End quote. Yes. I don't know how furthering or allowing people to continue with a mental issue.
Continuing your mental disorder into a physical malady where you're enabling yourself and where people are enabling you to literally kill parts of your body.
Yep. So I don't understand.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. Why is it that we theoretically people let's take it out of the gender thing, okay? Let's put this into a more common real world situation. Drug addicts are not usually. You don't enable a drug addict.
No, you don't.
You know somebody who's on heroin or somebody who's constantly strung out. You're not going to go out and
buy them heroin.
Them. Exactly. You're not going to encourage them to continue in this self-destructive path. So why is it that when it comes to the transgendered community, why is it that we allow that and we celebrate that?
Because they don't see it as self-destructive.
Yeah. I was going to say, but it still is destructive.
It is, you're right, but it doesn't. The society at large doesn't see it as self-destructive, even though scientifically it has been proven that gender reassignment surgery or gender assignment surgery.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. actually has nothing to do with a person's mental state before or after, getting it done generally increases their chances of being suicidal.
Mm-hmm. It fascinates me that we can sit and parse it out like that, and we can help certain people but not other people. And again, this is why it goes back to agenda, folks. It's all about the agenda. Who does it fit? How does it fit and help further whatever it is that these people that are in power want to continue to do? This is just very sad.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Quote, "It is aimed at better facilitating pastoral care at a local level by giving people the space to talk about their faith and share the impact of church community in their lives." End quote. Smith added, "I'm going to throw out something, and anybody that is of any kind of a faith, it doesn't matter what denomination or anything like that you are, if you affiliate yourself in any way, shape, form, or fashion as a Christian, there's one little thing that pops out there. Is usually the thing going around that everyone will say, and every Christian, regardless of denomination, will agree to, and is one that God is perfect. God does not make mistakes."
Yes, that is correct.
So if God doesn't make mistakes,
then you are wrong and he is not.
Exactly. Then how is it that you have to accommodate these people who are walking around saying that I was created in an outward shell of a man, but for some reason I feel that I am a woman? Well, you know what? I feel like I'm a millionaire.
But you're not.
I'm not. My bank account says otherwise.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So does mine.
I feel like a rather muscular and skinny man. And guess what? I'm not. Just saying. I may go to the gym and have lost some weight, but I'm not there yet. And just because I want to feel it or identify as that doesn't mean anything.
Right. You know, but those are things that you could actually physically work on and change about yourself without literally going into a doctor's office and having them and telling them, "I want you to cut this part of me off and stick it inside of me."
True, but my point of what I'm trying to go back to is that you cannot sit here and profess to be a follower of a perfect being, a perfect creator, and then turn around at the exact same time and say that he is a screw up and didn't do something right.
Right, and at that point, Smith also noted that the resource was not intended to make any kind of statement regarding the church's wider relationship with the transgendered community.
All right, that was more British, BT Dubs.
I know. That's because it's always that way.
I know. It's the Church of England that runs Scotland, just so you know.
That's why I said that way.
But yes, and the resource does not, quote, provide a theological explanation or understanding of transgender issues, because there isn't one.
Right. There is
no such thing. What it is people. Honest to God, what it boils down to is it's a people who, for some reason, have not taken the time to have that moment through puberty and through the teenage years to identify and figure out who they are as a person. And because they're still lost and walking around, they don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do at all.
They just make up stuff and they figure it fits that way. So we could go on this all night long, but it is time.
The music's on. Here.
It is going. Thank y'all so much. We know you could be doing anything else on a Saturday night, but you're here with us, and we really appreciate it. You can find us at Facebook at Defenders of we can find us on Facebook at DOA Show, Twitter also at DOAE Show, Lanterns.buzz. Check the guys out, all the other hosts and writers out there. Good stuff. You will not be disappointed. Patreon.com/DOA Show. Help us keep the lights on. Get some swag. You will not be missing it. And next Wednesday, I will be in studio, be sitting right next to Steven. Things will be back to normal. We hope. I'll be there. Again, drop us an email. For some reason, you need to reach out to us for anything. It's doaeshow@gmail.com. Please like, share, and follow us. Spread the stuff around. It's all good. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.